Fame promises fortune, admiration, and sometimes a dark, hidden cost.
I wish that Daddy'd stop shouting at Mommy.
Behind the glitz and glamour, lives were shattered by violence, betrayal, and tragedy. Some were young and full of promise, others legends in their prime.
Keep your babies close to you. There's someone out there.
Their endings weren't just heartbreaking, they were disturbing in ways few could imagine.
What is your location? Days Inn Motel at 901 Navigation Boulevard. What's wrong, man? We have a woman ran in the lobby, said she's been shot. She's laying on the floor and there's blood.
Brace yourself for the most disturbing celebrity's death. How do you shine like a star at 6, only to vanish in the dark corners of your own home? JonBenet Ramsey was just a little girl, but in her world of tiaras and twirls, she was already a queen. With bright eyes and a voice full of cheer, she lit up the stage in child beauty pageants. Little Miss Colorado, National Tiny Miss Beauty. Her mother, a former pageant queen herself, dressed her in sequins and practiced routines. To cameras and crowds, JonBenet was a darling. At home, she was a daughter, a sister, a kind child who loved Christmas and pink.
She knew she was loved. I told her every day I love her, and I still do with my kids when I talk to them. As a father, I'm just sorry I didn't protect her. I'm sorry.
In the early morning hours after Christmas, 1996, everything changed. Patsy Ramsey dialed 911. Her daughter was missing. A ransom note had been found, oddly specific, $118,000 demanded, and disturbingly theatrical.
Police, what's going on? 5515th Street. What's going on there, ma'am? We have a kidnapping.
Hours later, her father, John, discovered her body in the basement. JonBenet had been strangled with a garrote made from a paintbrush and cord. Her skull was fractured. She was 6, no forced entry, a staged note, a botched investigation. Theories exploded. Was it a family member, an intruder, someone from the pageant circuit? Decades later, no one knows. No one's ever been charged.
Keep your babies close to you. There's someone out there.
JonBenet's light was stolen, not by fame, but in a place that should have been safe. And we're still left asking, who silences a child and gets away with it? She was just a little girl with a giggle you could recognize anywhere. Judith Barcy had magic in her voice, sweet, bright, unmistakable. You heard it in The Land Before Time when Ducky chirped, "Yep, yep, yep," or in All Dogs Go to Heaven, where Anne-Marie made even gangsters cry. She was 10 years old and already a veteran of Hollywood, dozens of commercials, sitcoms, a major animated feature with Spielberg's name attached, a star, but still just a kid who loved riding her bike and petting her cat.
I wish that Daddy'd stop shouting at Mommy. And I wish Mommy and I could have dinner together every night.
But the camera never showed what happened after the lights went out. Her father, controlling, drunk, paranoid, had been threatening them for years. Judith began plucking out her eyelashes, pulling her cat's whiskers, crying quietly in the audition rooms. Her mother tried to leave. She asked for help. Reports were filed, warnings ignored. Then on a summer night in 1988, the nightmare became final. He shot Judith while she slept, shot Maria in the hallway, poured gasoline over their bodies, set it all on fire, then ended his own life in the garage.
Judith, we just want to say that we love you and we all miss you very much.
Judith's voice survived the flames, but everything else, dreams, safety, childhood, was lost in the smoke. She wasn't a star, but she mattered to someone who was. Karen Grammer was 18, just beginning to build her life. working at a restaurant, laughing with friends, dreaming small, beautiful dreams. Then one night in Colorado Springs, she stepped into the wrong hands. 3 men kidnapped her. She was raped, stabbed, and left between 2 parked cars to die alone.
I had horrors in my mind that were craving the truth, what I knew happened, and to feel her steps, her final steps, to be in her, to be with her.
Her brother, Kelsey Grammer, was just 20. He got the call, and nothing was ever the same. Years later, he'd win Emmys, become a household name, play men who held their pain behind wit. But the ache of losing Karen, senseless, violent, permanent, never left. He named his daughter Spencer Karen Grammer in her honor. He wrote a book to remember the sister the world never really knew. Karen never asked for the spotlight, but her story lingers in grief, in justice, in the echoes of a brother who couldn't save her.
And I cried out loud like a child whose hope had died.
She sang like someone who had already seen heaven. Christina Grimmie started with a webcam and a dream, just a teen in her bedroom, belting heartache into the void. Millions listened. Millions stayed. YouTube made her a star, but it was her spirit, kind, quirky, fiercely loyal, that made her unforgettable. She called her fans Frans. She never left until the last hand was signed.
Thank you so much. That just made my night. I hope you know that. Thank you. I love your brother.
On June 10th, 2016, after a show in Orlando, she did just that, stood with arms wide, ready to hug. Instead, she met a bullet, a man she didn't know, an obsession she never saw coming. He shot her 3 times. Her brother tackled him. Too late.
It does appear that he came here to commit this crime.
Christina died the next morning. She was 22. The world lost a voice, but it also lost a safe place. A meet and greet became a murder scene. And for every artist who's ever said, "Come say hi," her name is now whispered in the silence that follows. She was the dream in a red lipstick smile, the voice that made Tejano music feel like home. Selena Quintanilla was 23, dazzling stages in sequins and joy. She wasn't just the queen of Tejano, she was Tejano. Crossover fame was on the horizon. Her English language album was coming. The world was finally ready.
Sí, el Grammy, una cosa yo creo was like a dream come true, ¿verdad?
Exactly.
Tell us about it.
When they first told us that we were nominated, we all freaked out.
But betrayal got there first. On March 31st, 1995, Selena met with Yolanda Saldivar, her former friend and fan club president, to confront her about stolen money. Minutes later, Selena was bleeding from a gunshot wound in a motel lobby. She named her killer before collapsing.
What is your location? David Motel. It's 901 Navigation Boulevard. What's wrong, man? We have a woman ran in the lobby, said she's been shot. She's laying on the floor in his blood.
She died that same day. The shock was seismic. The world mourned. Streets overflowed with grief. And a generation of Latinas lost a sister, a role model, a star who made them feel seen. Selena never finished that crossover album, but she crossed over into legend and never looked back. He was a riff machine with a rebel's heart, metal's loudest smile, gone in an instant. Dimebag Darrell lived for the stage, guitar slung low, a Dean ML in his hands, tone dripping with southern groove and thrash fury. He wasn't just a shredder, he was a brother, a showman, a soul of fire and fun. From Pantera to Damage Plan, his solos weren't played, they roared. Then, on December 8, 2004, the music stopped mid-note. a man broke through the crowd in Columbus, Ohio and opened fire. Dimebag was shot point blank on stage, killed doing what he loved most. Fans screamed, bandmates froze, 3 others died. The shooter was killed by police.
911, what's your emergency?
We have a shooting.
911 emergency.
Oh, Rosa Bar, please, we need help as soon as possible.
Oh my God.
911.
Came in with a gun and started shooting people.
Oh, you're still shooting.
He's on stage right now. He's got a gun.
The guy's on stage with a gun?
There was no encore. Dimebag didn't go out in silence. He went out in distortion, mourned by millions in power cords and tattoos. His death shattered the sense of safety at shows, but his legacy still screams, wild, loud, and absolutely unforgettable. She dreamed of food that brought people together. Her life was taken by someone she trusted. Christy Schoen Codd was a firecracker, chef, stuntwoman, actress, and dreamer. From Food Network star to film sets, she moved with passion and purpose. She had plans for a farm-to-table cafe, a show called Homegrown.
When I found out she was 5 months pregnant, and oh gosh, it's just so sad.
On March 12, 2015, everything stopped. Christy, 5 months pregnant, and her husband J.T. Codd vanished. 3 days later, their contractor, Robert Jason Owens, was arrested. He confessed. J.T. was killed by a car. Christy, authorities never confirmed how she died. Their remains were found in a wood stove. No motive, no warning, just trust turned to ash.
What we did was we went to the residence and we were able to recover. Because of that interview, we were able to recover what we think are human remains. Part of those were recovered from a wood stove.
Christy wasn't just another face on TV. She was building something real. Her murder didn't just rob the culinary world of a rising star. It silenced a mother, a couple, a family, before they even got to begin. She gave women a voice until hers was stolen in silence. Adrienne Shelley was smart, sharp, and fiercely creative. From indie film darling to acclaimed writer-director, she lit up screens in The Unbelievable Truth, Trust, and finally Waitress, a bittersweet love letter to female resilience. She'd just finished that film. It would go to Sundance. It would become a Broadway musical.
Not a minute of every day goes by without me thinking of Adrienne and what my daughter Sophie has lost, what the world has lost.
But Adrienne didn't live to see it. On November 1st, 2006, she was found hanging in her Manhattan office. At first, they called it Her husband refused to believe it, and he was right. Police reopened the case. They found the truth. A 19-year-old construction worker confessed. He strangled her after a confrontation, then staged her death to look like
I got a call from a detective, and he said, Andrew, we arrested the guy who killed Adrienne.
Adrienne left behind a husband, a young daughter, and a lasting impact. Her legacy lives on in every woman telling her story on her own terms. Her voice was silenced, but her impact keeps speaking. He made the world laugh, then vanished in silence. Phil Hartman was the voice of 1,000 characters. From SNL's Clinton to The Simpsons' Troy McClure, he brought charm, wit, and heart to every role. A quiet guy off stage, beloved for his kindness and calm, he was the glue that held ensembles together. But at home, the cracks were hidden.
I tried to get him to divorce that lady a bunch of times while I was working with him. Yeah, because they would fight like crazy fights where he would just disappear for a couple. He would leave the house.
On May 28, 1998, while Phil slept in bed, his wife Brynn shot him 3 times. Hours later, after confessing to friends, she took her own life. Their 2 children were home. Phil was 49. The news stunned Hollywood. It wasn't just his death. It was the way it shattered the illusion of safety. Behind the laughter was a man unknowingly living beside danger. Fans mourned the loss of a legend. Friends mourned a gentle soul.
The following is a film that Phil and I did together in our 3rd season. This is for you, Phil. We love you so much.
Phil Hartman made comedy feel effortless. His death reminded us how fragile even the brightest lights can be. She vanished from the screen, but her final chapter became the most shocking story of all. Susan Cabot was once a Hollywood beauty in B-movies and cult horror. The Wasp Woman, Machine Gun Kelly. Petite, dark-haired, fierce-eyed, a rising name in the 50s. But fame faded. She withdrew from the spotlight, consumed by trauma, paranoia, and a life behind locked doors. On December 10, 1986, her only son, Timothy, called 911. Susan was dead, bludgeoned with a barbell in her Los Angeles home. He confessed.
What's the emergency?
I just killed my mom.
Timothy, born with disabilities and raised in seclusion, claimed years of abuse. He said she attacked him that night. Prosecutors believed him. He was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and received probation. Susan's life unraveled far from the spotlight, plagued by fear, secrecy, and untreated pain. Her death wasn't a scandal. It was a slow-burn tragedy, decades in the making. A star who once transformed into a monster on screen, only to meet one in real life. The world knew their smiles, their catchphrases, their signature looks, but never saw the danger creeping just off camera. They had everything fame could offer, yet couldn't escape the nightmare coming for them. Their final acts weren't scripted, just horrifyingly real. From backstage betrayals to carefully planned executions, these celebrities met ends so disturbing they shattered our illusions of glamour. The tragedies that prove no amount of money or fame can stop true evil. May your torment finally end. Though we'll never comprehend such brutality, your tragedies live on in tabloid ink and crime scene photos, forever staining Hollywood's glittering facade. Thank you for watching.